Yes, guys, we are back. The Premier League is back again. Welcome back from the international break. It almost felt as if it wasn't going to end, and I couldn't wait. But then again, this is Football Gazette, and my name is Olushola Victor. I've got with me here the incredible man himself.
You can call me MJ for short. Well, we're back once again, like
Yes,
Victor
sir.
rightly said, after that international break where players actually played for their country of birth. Well, it's actually sad not to see the Super Eagles of Nigeria dazzle, but then it is what it is.
Is it sad? Congratulations to us! Congratulations to the boys for missing out on the World Cup again for the second consecutive time.
That's unpatriotic.
Let's keep it coming. Let's keep it. It's going. It's
that's
going.
unpatriotic.
But then Otilo, that is their
Yeah,
own business.
that's
All the
good.
best for them. Back to the Premier League, guys. After 3 game weeks, we are into game week 4 now, and of course, so many things to talk about in the Premier League, if you ask me. And the most interesting thing would be that Manchester City, who seem to have a fantastic run of form, back-to-back Premier League titles, like no one has ever done it, 3 times in a row. And after 3 games, they've lost 2 of those 3 games. This is the first time this is happening since the 2004-2005 season, by the way. And under Pep Guardiola as well, this is the lowest points they've had. 3 games, only 3 points out of 9 possible points. Muiwa, Joshua, MJ.
You wish to call me.
What do you think is going on at Manchester City?
Victor, if you ask me, I think what's presently going on,
Yeah.
but it's barely 3 games into the Premier League season, I would say is an offshoot from what happened the last time out,
Are you
the last
serious?
season. Manchester City never imagined what the start could be for them or what the season could be for them last season.
Okay.
But then we all saw how it went down.
Yes.
It was
below par.
yeah, below par and more. Let me say a very disastrous season for them.
Okay, well,
Yeah, it was a
On
disastrous
their own
season
level,
initially.
it's disastrous.
Like okay, in their own level, like you
Yes,
rightly said,
it's
because looking
disastrous.
at what they've been able to achieve for
the last
themselves
10
in the
years.
past
Yes.
couple of seasons,
Well,
like
yeah,
let's say
since the
7
6th.
years.
Yes, thereabouts.
I mean, it's been fantastic. It's been phenomenal.
actually.
I mean, now see them fall off last season, and at the end of the season, close to the end of the season, they found a way to actually
Just
sneak
pick up some
themselves
points. Yes,
into the third
Champions League.
position,
Mhm.
which you would consider a very good finish for them.
Yes, true.
I mean,
True.
in a season that has been catastrophic, finishing third in the Premier League, a league as competitive as the Premier League,
that doesn't-
is no small feat at all.
Well, does
So
that
I want
tell
to believe,
how
I want to
strong
believe
they
their
are?
start this season now is
Okay.
an offshoot of what happened last season, regardless of the business they've actually been able to do in the market. I mean, they brought in new guys, the Rangers, the Cherky, and
Yes.
a lot of a lot of other guys.
We have Mamouche.
But then I think I think their major undoing this season now
Yeah.
in the few matches that has been played so
I mean,
far.
just 3 so far. 3
Yeah,
of 38.
I mean,
it's still a long way now.
It's worthy to note that Manchester City have about 13 players out on injuries now.
13
It's just 3 games into the Premier League season, and 13 players
are currently injured.
are currently injured. That says a lot. How many? What's the total number of players they have
In a squad.
in a squad?
That 13 are
That 13 are currently
injured.
out. Not academy guys, first team
Starters.
guys, like who can be a starter on a normal day, guys who can be a starter.
So are we saying they have
on
an
a normal day.
excuse?
Yes, I think they have an
We
excuse.
can excuse the poor performance of
Yes,
Manchester
they lost.
City.
They lost against Tottenham. They lost against
No,
Brighton.
the game
and
against
Wolverhampton.
Tottenham was abysmal. It was really
I think the performance, like you said, was really below par and
Actually,
abysmal as well.
honestly.
So I think it was a defeat well earned for them. Meanwhile, for Tottenham, they actually played to their pattern.
Do you think
to the coach's
Tottenham?
pattern?
Do you think Tottenham had a good game, or because Man City had a bad game?
Yeah, I think it's because Manchester City had a bad game.
Because
that
the goals
performance
Tottenham
was so
scored.
uncharacteristic of Manchester City. So I think that gave Tottenham an
The edge.
edge to actually
Let's
These guys
just
are not
speak on
playing.
them.
We can play our game and see the way that we've actually.
I mean, even the goals they scored in that game were not really,
So I
classy
think
goals, so
when
to
it comes
say.
to Manchester City, you shouldn't make them a yardstick. Yes, and that's going to Manchester United fans. The fact that no, you shouldn't smile. The fact that Manchester City are
Where will they go like this?
you shouldn't make them a yardstick when it comes to failing presently.
No, come on, you can't do that. You can't
Because
just,
Manchester City have got this way
of
of turning things around, which Manchester United
Do not
might
have.
not have. I mean, in nature.
Okay. Well, that's those are the words of Joshua, not my words. And I'm sure a lot of Man United fans do not agree with you. But there is something happening this weekend. The big Manchester derby is going to be happening at the Etihad Stadium. And I'm super pumped for this because, I mean, the game is nicely poised, like we have just rightly mentioned.
Yeah.
Man City seem to be struggling. They seem to have lots of problems in the squad. And Man United seem to be somehow finding a way to stand.
No, I would disagree with you.
I'm not saying stand yet.
I think they are both strugglers presently.
No. I think the struggle.
The fact that you won against Burnley
No,
last
it's
time
not just-
doesn't mean anything has changed.
It's not about winning against Burnley. It's about the fact that the football in the club, the pattern of play has actually changed. There's a shift from how United used to play in the previous season compared to how we played in the last 3 games.
Something has changed.
Like I
now.
said, we are looking for a way to stand. It's not like the team has entirely changed, in its full force. But if Man United fans and football lovers can actually be sincere to themselves, Man United is playing much better football than we played in the previous season. We are attacking more, we're getting more shots, even on and off
we're not
target.
taking the chances.
Exactly that. But the problem now is, will Man United be able to take advantage of Man City's lackluster performance? Just like Tottenham did now, in the previous week.
And Brighton did
and Brighton as well. And maybe, get a good result at the Etihad Stadium. But then there's a big clause now, because even the game against Burnley that Man United won, it was won after a stoppage time penalty.
Yeah.
I mean, a Burnley side should not be getting 2 goals against Man United at this stage of the season. It's just 3 games into the season. Why would you concede 2 goals? Very terrible defensive errors, if you ask me. Those 2 goals from Man United. And I feel like you can't make these kind of mistakes against Manchester City.
Yeah, no matter how terrible Manchester City are at the moment,
Okay.
I would agree with you. You can't make that particular mistake against them. And that's one thing Manchester United should have at the back of their mind going
Absolutely.
into this big derby. Like Victor rightly said, this weekend. I think Manchester United, presently, based on form and on the log standard,
Yeah.
are a little bit better than Manchester City. While one
I
adds,
mean, even Sunderland is better than Man City now. So.
we're still going to talk about those new boys. But I want us to dissect this particular Manchester derby to see eventually where the pendulum
How
might
it
be
can
swinging.
go.
You understand? I think there's really no much difference between both sides presently. I don't know if you're going to agree with me, but then that's my own
For
personal
the season,
opinion.
so far.
So far this season, I don't think there's much difference between both sides. Although I would agree with you partially that Manchester United, Ruben Amorim this time around,
Yes.
we all can see the way he wants to play.
Absolutely.
Although he might be short of the personnel, the profile of players to execute
You still
this
think
pattern.
so? You still think so?
I know so.
Okay.
Because when you call something a rebuild,
Yeah.
this is 2025.
Well, you can't just
I
have the
still
old-
don't
you can't
expect.
expunge the old
Exactly what I'm saying. Amorim has said that countless times. There's no way you're changing 22 players
It's impossible.
in a single window.
Yes.
It's a rebuild we're calling
Hasn't he-
it. There's no way
Okay.
you would have a certain Diogo Dalot, a certain Bruno Fernandes, and yes, I said that name, Bruno Fernandes in your team when
Bruno
you call it
Fernandes. Yes. A
a
review.
rebuild.
Mm.
I mean, Chelsea should serve as a template.
But this
for
same
Manchester
Bruno
United
Fernandes
for
they are talking
Guardiola.
about has actually been very instrumental to the team. I mean, if you take out the goals of Bruno Fernandes, from the previous season, you realize
we're talking about a new project
it's
now,
just
a new
three-
dispensation.
it's just 3 games into the season. I believe that you can't judge. This is a sprint. It's not a,
Not
it's
a-
not rather
it's
it's a
a
marathon.
not
It's
a
not a
sprint.
sprint.
Okay.
You can't judge a player's performance based on just 3 games into the season. The season is just started.
Okay.
So let's give him some time. Maybe when we're at week 10, week 12, or week 15, then we can now say, maybe Bruno Fernandes actually needs to be put on the bench or maybe substituted for someone else in that squad.
Left for me, I think the results this weekend would be really close as both sides are not far away from each other.
Okay, so what's your prediction?
I want to believe that Manchester City still
Are you serious?
have got what it takes to edge this through, and that's to further pile the pressure on Ruben Amorim, because that would be just a single victory in 4 games, and that would be a terrible one. Trust me.
So what's your
The
score
media
prediction?
will pounce on him.
So what's your
So I
score
want to
prediction?
believe at the end of the day, it's going to be more like a 3-1 victory.
Are you serious?
A 3-1 victory.
What are you saying?
A 3-1 victory for Manchester
Oh
City.
my goodness! Oh
Yes.
my God.
And I'm saying that with my full chest. You're free to come for me at
Your
the end of the
words,
show.
your
Yeah.
words, not mine.
So yeah, your prediction now.
As a Man United fan, the truth is I would be honest with myself. And at the same time, I still want to be a bit, flexible. In the last 8 meetings, Man City has defeated United 5 times of 8. So going into the game, Man City need to correct their run of form. They've lost 2 games back to back. Man United have won first in 3 games this season. So I think Man United would ride on that wave. I see the game ending as either a draw or a win for Man United. Yes. Man United
Are you
will not,
really very serious?
yes,
Bella?
Man United will not lose.
I think I know
at
what's
the Etihad
deceiving
Stadium.
you.
No, there's no deceit. There's no
The
deceit.
log.
No, it's not about the log. Away from the log. I'm not gonna lie to you. Away from the log. The
I think
only
you're 1 point above
no,
Man City.
the only time Erling Haaland so far this season really did anything was against Brighton. So far, against Brighton and over the international break, he's not really been getting the services that he used to get.
Yeah,
The team hasn't really given him what he's used to getting.
I think so.
The
too.
team hasn't really been, so threatening in front of goal. But for Man United, they've always goal poached. So I think this weekend, a win or draw for Man United. I think maybe if a win, Man United will win by 2-1 or maybe a draw.
Well, that's for Victor. That's one to look out for later on Sunday night. Guess who would be right at the end of the day?
Yes, sir.
That remains $1 million question.
Shall
Only
find
time
out.
will tell. Yeah, Victor, right at the initial part of the show, we're talking about the newly promoted guys.
Yes, we have 3 new cats. Let me use that phrase, new cat. I mean, we've got Leeds, we've also got Burnley, we've got Sunderland. And it's interesting to know that these guys are putting up good performances.
Well, like you tagged them, one of them is the Black Cat of Sunderland.
Yes, honestly. And Sunderland did one over, was it Bournemouth now? I can't remember. Was it Bournemouth or
I
Brentford?
think I've been so far impressed with what Sunderland have been able to do.
No, fantastic.
It's been 3 games, but then for a newly promoted side, hitting the ground running
No,
almost immediately.
it's amazing.
I mean, it
It's amazing.
fascinates me.
If I'm not
Out of
mistaken,
3 games,
I think-
they've had 2 wins.
I think each of them has won a game. Each of these newly promoted sides have won a game.
I think the only side yet to win again this season now should be a certain. I think that should be.
No, we have Newcastle, we have Fulham, we have Aston Villa.
I
and
mean,
Wolves.
that should be Aston Villa.
Yeah,
Aston Villa is yet to
They're
score a
sitting
goal
19th.
this season.
Are you serious, man?
Yes.
That is terrible.
They are yet to score a goal, and I think the last match actually got Unai Emery very
Very
on the
furious.
touchline.
Yes, yes.
Even in his pre-match conference, he was asked a question about Emiliano Martinez, and he was really furious
You
with
would-
the.
you would expect that because-
the reporter.
3 games in, 0 points, 0 wins rather.
Yeah, 0 wins,
and-
0 goals.
Lagging at the 19th position of 20 teams. So talking about the new cards now, each of them has won a game. It will be interesting to know that Sunderland has won 2 games.
I mean,
According to
that's
what is on the
really-
log, that
yeah,
is
impressive for
quite
me.
interesting. Sunderland has won 2, Burnley has won 1 game, while Leeds have also won 1 game out of 3 games. I think maybe it's going to be an interesting run for them. I hope and wish that Sunderland will keep up this form, but I don't think they have it in them. I think maybe Leeds can still last a bit more. So I see Leeds finishing above. Okay, let's rank the three of them now. So I see Leeds above, then maybe Sunderland in the middle, and Burnley at the bottom.
You know, for me, I'm going by the business. Besides over the summer transfer, I want to give Sunderland an edge over
Leeds.
The two other sides.
Over both of them.
Yes, because when you take a look at the business Sunderland were able to do for themselves, they actually brought in some veterans. You won't call them players still on the stage.
Yeah, experienced
players who can at their lowest still deliver
and give them the Premier League needs.
And give them at least a Premier League hope for the next.
Well, I still see Leeds. I think Leeds is appearing to be more thirsty, more hungry. They have a very
to retain their Premier League status.
Yes, I think they want to do that.
You know, I would share your sentiment as well that both Leeds United and Sunderland, for me, have got what it takes to actually retain their status going into the next season. But I'm kind of really doubting Burnley that team's ability to actually withstand pressure from not even only the top sides this time around,
even their
fellow bottom sides, club sides.
Yeah,
I really doubt their ability to actually withstand pressure from that. But it remains to be seen how things will pan out, especially in the next coming weeks.
Absolutely.
Till we reach game week 10, where things will become clearer. You would be able to analyze and know, okay, yes, this is the pattern this team has come up with, and that's the trend they will be following.
Well
so, Victor, we're running out of time already.
Okay, yeah, so this is what we're going to, I'll call it a wrap. This is what we're going to call it a wrap on this episode of Football Gazette Podcast. The weekend is here. Do well to enjoy the games coming this weekend. Arsenal against Nottingham, Chelsea against Brentford, Liverpool also taking on Burnley, I think. Yes, and so many other games. Joshua and I will be back again. But until then, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And of course, tell someone about Football Gazette.
All right, until some other time, so we'll get back here again. Do stay good and safe. Peace out.